Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's album review is the 1987 album by P.I.L. called Happy. Um, my experience with Sex Pistols and P.I.L. Um, I grew up with Sex Pistols. My brother had their cassette, really early on, never mind the Bullocks. But I liked them, but they were just, I was looking for electronic music. And as far back as I can remember. Did I like the songs? Yeah. Did I thought it was different and unique? Yeah. But was I jamming out to Sex Pistols? Probably not really. I don't remember ever doing that. Now, when I first heard P.I.L, probably as early as probably just before this album, uh, when I first heard "This Is Not a Love Song," that changed my perspective, and I was like, "Who is this?" And yeah, and then I've always been a big P.I.L fan. And see, that's the difference between electronic music. That's why I love electronic music. You take P.I.L, you take Sex Pistols, take a little bit of their angst out, a little bit of their punk attitude out, and add a keyboard and maybe a little bit of dance music, and boom, you have P.I.L. And so I love P.I.L. I really like P.I.L albums. Um, this is probably my personal favorite, and so I chose my first P.I.L record review, and I was like, yeah, just choose my favorite one. So yeah, here it is, Happy. Um, I got a chance to see P.I.L in 1989 in concert when I was 13. They opened up for New Order, and then there was also Sugar Cubes. I was 13 years old, and that was I had again I was into P.I.L a little bit, for those first couple years. Um, this is not a love song, and I really liked. Up to that point, it was in '89, so I liked Body and Rules and Regulations, and of course Rise, and so this is not a love song as well. So I was a Home is another one, right? Um, so I liked P.I.L when I went and saw them in concert, and they is in my opinion they blew New Order away. I mean, Sugar Cubes were unique, and when they came on stage, they were first, and they were unique and stuff like that. They're gonna give their all, and but when P.I.L came on next, they just they kicked butt, and then New Order came on last, and how New Order is live, they can kind of suck sometimes, and they didn't do great that night. But P.I.L was the highlight of that night, and after that I became a huge fan, even a bigger fan. I just and then I bought this album, uh, and then there was Acid Drops. I think came out in '92, and then unfortunately that was pretty much the end of P.I.L. But thankfully, this and the album nine, the one before this, or I'm sorry, the one after this has uh, Happy and Disappointed and Warrior. So I was, there's those. I still enjoy those four, five, six. Those are Flowers Romance, and those the Metal Box record. There's good five, six records there that I still appreciate, and really enjoy the P.I.L sound. And then of course Johnny Lydon on the track with African Bambaataa was such a huge track back in the day. World Destruction. I have the 12-inch over here. That was always such a mind-boggling song at the time. Like, it doesn't get enough respect. If do you any of you guys know World Destruction? Man, like everybody knows Aerosmith and Run DMC's. Like they were always kind of considered the first rock and hip hop collaboration. Walk This Way, right? No. Sex Pistols, Johnny Lydon, and African Bambaataa. World Destruction came out 2 years before that, and that was the rock and hip hop. I don't think Rick Rubin was involved in that either, but um, I think it was on Celluloid Records, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't necessarily on a big label, maybe that was why. But for some reason, African Bada. This is, I think, even Africa. I think it was even, well, maybe it was the year of, maybe it was the year after, or that Planet Rock came out. But so people didn't really know World Destruction as much as, or I mean, didn't know African Bada as much as like Run DMC when Walk This Way came out. That was part of it. But Aerosmith was always popular, especially in America, more than P.I.L. or Sex Pistols. So it made sense they pushed that song more than the other one. But World Destruction is a landmark album and sorely underappreciated in the history of hip hop and rock music. In fact, I'm gonna write down that I'm gonna go do a review on that online, just to, because I'd be curious to, like, if anybody's ever put that review on there. And just the record is so underrated, such a great record. Anyways, this review is about P.I.L's Happy. So this album's got eight songs. So unfortunately, it's a little short, but it gets, you can get through it nice and quick, which is cool. As far as the one thing I really like about this album is it's a good balance of dance music and rock music. There's some strong riffs. Johnny Lydon's in top form here. I think there's some cool beats on here as far as rock music. Doing some dance music. There's some really good melodic moments in here. There's some good catchy moments. A really underrated album in my opinion. There's some classics on here to me. Rules and Regulations, The Body were both standouts at the time, and I remember them played on alternative radio and K Rock all the time. My sister used to put them on our mixed cassette tapes back in '87. She would make us mix cassette tapes and a record she was buying, and she had this record. And so yeah, that was those two were huge songs for the time. Rules and Regulations and The Body, just awesome tracks. But there's also some really good secondary tracks on here. I really like Angry and Fat Chance Hotel. The last two, really underrated tracks. But then you also have Open and Revolving, and then Seattle. Seattle was a single, I believe, and Open and Revolving, I think, was a promo. But some really good songs there as well. So just right off the top, I like 6 of the 8 songs. I really like 6 out of 8 songs. I really like that Johnny Lydon is kind of embracing dance music. He's embracing having keyboards on there. That's going to be right up my alley. Right up my alley. A little punk attitude, rock heavy, into some alternative music with some dance music. That's all in my wheelhouse. And then the great thing is you buy the 12 inches like Warrior and stuff, and which have a few of their 12 inches in there. Adding some dance remixes in there, some extended remixes, stuff like that. So yeah, I was all about it, and I still enjoy playing some of those records. Johnny Lydon still has his aggressiveness and has something to say through the interesting time of the '80s. So I really do like the vocals and the lyrics on the song, especially on songs like Fat Chance Hotel and Angry. Just really cool lyrics on there. I really like it. Seattle, first track, good chorus. May not have been the ideal song for a single, in my opinion, from the album. It's actually one of the lesser songs I like on the album. We got 2 3/4 stars though. Still a really strong song. Rules and Regulations, 3.5 stars. Good beat. It's a little darker. I like the keyboards and the guitar riffs. Really cool. 3.5 stars. And then I like The Body even better. 3 3/4 stars. Awesome beat. Vocal is really cool. Excellent chorus. The riff is amazing. 3 3/4 stars. Save Me is pretty good. It grows on you. It's kind of a deeper cut. A little bit more melodic and stretched out, especially towards the end. 3 stars. Really good track. Hard Times is my least liked on the album, but still a good album. Good song. 2 stars. Open and Revolving. I really like the bridge in the song. Chorus is strong. The backup vocals is cool. I like it's a little bit more danceable. I love the bridge at like 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The bridge, the melody, the keyboards. Really like that part. 3.25 stars. And then both Angry and Fat Chance Hotel are really kind of personal favorites of mine. I got those 3.75 stars each. Angry, really cool. The singing, guitar riff, the beat is cool. It sort of encapsulates the album's feel for me. It's really kind of got that balance of everything. Fat Chance Hotel is really cool. I think it's kind of a sick kind of groove in it. You know, the beat, the groove, and then the riffs are really strong in it. Really cool. 3.25 stars as well. So my top three favorite songs are all 3.75 stars. The Body, Angry, and Fat Chance Hotel. Those are my three favorite. When I add up the stars of the album, 25.75 stars divided by 8 songs is a really strong 3.21 stars song per average. Really strong 3.2. I did feel like I kind of wouldn't say I docked it a couple points, but considering there's only 8 songs on the record, you know, I do feel like it's hard to kind of. I do feel like that number is a little bit skewed a little bit because there's only 8 songs. So I brought it down a little bit. You know, the 3.2 would probably be in the 74 range. I brought it down a couple. It's still a very good album. I got 71 out of 100. Really enjoy this album. It's a kind of a personal favorite. I mean, I would, you know, if you looked on my rock list and compared to other rock lists, you'll probably say that, oh, that album's way better than this album. But this album is kind of a personal favorite of mine. It's kind of a my first concert. You know, played a few of these songs, so I am kind of skewed on this a little bit. But I do think it's very underrated, and it's got a great mix of rock and dance music. Yeah, I really like it. As far as the opportunities on it, real quick, the mix is kind of muddy. It's kind of the volume is low, lacking dynamics. This is an album that could really use a good mastering. None of their '80s albums. I don't even think. Well, I know Nine, Acid Drops, and Happy haven't been reissued or remastered. Those three albums have. I don't think the Metal Box and Home has either. But don't quote me on that. But none of these albums are really, the P.I.Ls have been reissued. With all the stuff that's going on with the reissues, it's strange that, you know, I know they're not super popular, but you gotta imagine sometime that these would be reissued. But hopefully they'll be remastered. And I'm not a huge fan of remastering. I do like I do like the quality of the original music, like how it's presented. But I do feel like there's some dynamics and volume, and the mix is kind of muddy. The drums are kind of muddy. That a good remastering could use. It's not really recorded that great either, so it may not be some much room to improve what's there, but it definitely could use some more dynamics and definitely some more bass. Yeah, you know, that's my thoughts on Happy. I think it's a really underrated album. 71 out of 100. All right, thanks so much for watching. Curious if you have a favorite song on here or any or what's your favorite P.I.L album. All right, thanks so much.